Hi, my name is Alissa Wilson. This is my body, my story. When I look in the mirror, and I'm telling the truth, sometimes I look in the mirror, I'm looking like, you're pretty hot, and the reason why I do that is because I feel like I spent so much time not feeling that way. So like now when I look in the mirror, even times if I've gained weight and I'm just like, I still look in the mirror and I just, really focus on those things that I really love about my body. What I love about my body is I love my legs. And I also love my shoulders. And I love my legs because I feel like they're just nice and sleek, and they're not short, but I feel like they're smooth, and my legs make me feel sexy. My shoulders are just like nice and round, and my shoulders make me feel sexy as well. So I feel like I'm always worried about my gut. So those two things, I feel like if I can show those two things off, I'm A-okay. I was always teased for having dark skin. I was always called black, or you black and ugly, your darkest night, like all of these horrible names. And sometimes some people would say, well, you're pretty for a dark skinned girl. You'll be prettier if you were just a few shades lighter. And when I heard that, I'm like, okay, maybe how could I become a few shades lighter? So in the Black community, in some of the, hair and beauty supply stores, you'll find a lot of like lightening creams. And so I decided to try a lightening cream, a bleaching cream. And I thought the bleaching cream was gonna make me a few shades lighter so that I could be prettier. So I spent my little money on that bleaching cream. I brought it home, and my mom found it in my room, and she was just like, what is this? She was like, what are you doing with this? And I was just like, it's just a bleaching cream, it's just gonna brighten up my skin. And she literally like took it, and then she laughed, and she was like, this is gonna do nothing for you. And she just, as a normal mom would do, she would just say, you're beautiful as you are. I think I just really like processed what she said, and I just said, you know what? She's right, this is me. Like I was born with this skin tone, so I have to learn to love it. Junior high was a bit difficult because, like I said, I used to always get you're pretty to be dark skin. It was just never like you're pretty. It was that to be dark skin always added in. And so I learned how to be quick with snapbacks. So if someone says something smart to me, then I learned to be quick and say something, smart back to them, or something, mean back to them. But once I got to high school, I felt like high school is such a bigger arena because I went to junior high school in Brooklyn, but I went to high school in Manhattan. So I felt like I saw a little more of me, a little more of, girls who were my complexion, girls who were even like a little darker. And, then boys come in, and, there were boys who was just like, hey, you're cute, So I think that helped my self-esteem a little more. In high school, now boys were saying, you're pretty, but you're a little chubby. And so that made my relationship with boys kind of awkward, because it was just like boys would like me because they thought I was pretty, but it was like, I don't necessarily want to be with the chubby girl. I realized like once I started to just be confident in myself as like a package, as okay, you are attractive, so what, you got a little chubbiness to you, you got a great personality, you're smart. I started to carry myself with a little more confidence. And so carrying myself with that extra confidence, I noticed a change in how boys would react to me. This is me. And I just made the decision to accept me as who I am, the way I look, the way I act, the good, the bad, the ugly. And once I was able to accept myself as that, I realized like I don't have to accept someone's negative treatment towards me because they think, I'm not the right kind of black, or I'm not the right size. A lot of people think I'm strong. And the reason why they think I'm strong is because I try my best not to show weakness, because I feel like when I show weakness, I'm empowering other people to have some sort of control over me, because I'm thinking they're thinking I'm weak. So I definitely put off this kind of barrier. I I feel like, in my younger days in high school and stuff, I went through the whole too tight phase. I went through the whole too short phase. So now I'm just like, I want my clothes to feel comfortable. I want my clothes to fit, and I want to feel sexy in them. I would like to buy a real couture dress in my size. That would be magical. I would feel like a princess. It's like when you try something that just doesn't fit, it changes my mood. Like I'm just like, I don't even want to shop anymore. But if I try on one thing that fits, I'm like, let's go to this store and that store, and I just want to continue. Like, what else fits? Like, what else works? Not even fits, but what else looks good? So, depending on what looks good or what doesn't can definitely affect my mood. When I shop, the goal is to always find something that flatters my stomach, that shows off my legs, and that shows off my shoulders. Regardless what you feel about size, it's still like, I'm still a human being, and I deserve to feel good about myself. And for me, clothes is a way of people feeling good about themselves. I have never met one woman that clothes doesn't make them feel good. Me and my stomach have always had a love-hate relationship. I didn't grow up plus size, so I actually used to get teased for being too skinny. And I used to be like skinny with a pot belly. So my stomach has always been a part of my life. I actually learned to work with it. And when I say work with it, I learned to find pieces that flattered it and not necessarily hide it, but just flatter it. And so on those days when I'm not feeling so great about it, I pull out those flattering pieces. So recently I've gained a lot of weight. So like at this point, I'm probably larger than I've ever been in my life. But I feel like when I was smaller than what I am, I thought I was huge and I thought I was bigger. And like now I'm like, man, I kind of wish I could go back to that size that I thought I was so huge at, and I really wasn't. And so I find that I can just be really hard on myself because unlike a lot of people think, I do care about my health. I do care about working out. I do care about eating right. And so whenever I feel like I'm not doing those things or I'm slipping on those things, I can kind of just be really mean to myself. Like, you're being lazy, or, you're not caring about yourself. And I think for me, sometimes I just have to get out of that. I'm also, I guess, honest enough with myself to know when I need to change negative habits and when I need to, get myself back together, but still not allow that to halt my life in a little bit, Being with a friend who was light-skinned, she was like a beautiful girl. Not because she was light-skinned, she was beautiful, but she was really a beautiful girl. And, at that time, I felt like guys weren't going to give me that type of attention that she was getting. And the day a guy like passed her and went to me, like, what's your name? I was like, what? And that really, like, it's memorable. Like, it really gave me that boost, like, oh, I'm cuter than you now, It's so silly, but that's really like a memorable day. And it was like a random guy in the street, but it was just, my mentality was lighter was better. That was beautiful, and dark skin wasn't. But that moment for me, it was just like, it was really a groundbreaking moment in my personal, growth. My favorite moment modeling was being able to hit poses. So I feel like every woman has like their good two poses, like hand on the hip or cross legs. Do yours. Oh, my favorite pose is this. I go. Like I said, I read a lot of magazines and I love runway models. And so I looked at how, those women modeled. And when I did the Ashley Stewart photo shoot, I was really in there moving around and, just really like trying to give it to the camera. Whereas before I probably would have been stiff, like, is this okay? So I feel like clothes are magical. And the reason why I use the word magical, and because I say this to myself, is regardless of your size, regardless however you feel about your body, when you find something that really makes you look good, you are not thinking about a diet. You're not thinking about, I need to lose or gain weight. You're thinking about that moment of how good you look in something.